Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should claim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness by giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand, to be there to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle. Which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 277th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice, here on Tuesday, June 6, 2023. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Cremond, and I'll be host once again in these weekly series of broadcasts. And once again, we're joined with members of the Universal Council who are ready to present today's workshop. So let me get that set up here, and we will begin.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the One Nation, One Planet, One Race, as one soul for the peace. It's a beautiful day, excellent day for learning more about the Mr. K teach us from the last teaching. All the time comes that the dream and the reality will coexist and happen at the same time. And that is the time, if you reach that point, is the time when you meet your creator. Because it's a system in both dimensions. This means you will see the soul of the physicality of the creator and the Mitra at the same time. And very few in the universe have ever managed to reach that level. Very few. It is not an impossible task, but is understanding the totality of the work. And does not need to not intermediary. We don't tell you do this, listen, do you do this and that and that and that. That you see and you get this and that, and you get to you heaven, or you get to resurrection, and you get into the creator, and the rest of that. What I call rubbish, which has been put on the table. You decide. You are the beginning and you are the end. You see both dimensions. You see both physicalities. And the strangest thing will be a lot, or you will not talk about, oh, I talk about it and it happened. No. I talk about it and it did happen because my soul brought to the physical soul of the physicality to get the physicality to what the soul wants, and another point. The soul of physicality get the soul to do what the soul of physicality and the physicality wants. You don't need to write a letter to the lover to say, I love you. You pass to the soul of physicality And the soul at the band and the lower says, I know you love me, and I love you too. The speaking word becomes less, and understand the emotion, and the feel of the life becomes more. And then you don't say, oh, I was just thinking about this a few minutes ago, and you talk it. Because a few minutes ago, what do you think by maybe initiated by the partner, and you responded, do it. And then you think is the was my thought, but both think the same. When you meet your true lover, true partner, true what I call soulmate, is the time when you reach that point. The speaking word becomes that rose flower to confirm the conformation of the soul's conversation. Then it comes the same in reverse. When you hook each other in the soul, and you find the physicality hooks too. Then there is no argument, then there is no misunderstanding, there is no, if that was, it happened, it's coincidental. You send a message to the soul, I want to hug, and you find your partner hugs. Your physicality, you don't need to ask, how come? Because it's become that you become. And what do you have to want it? And it's the part of the progress of the man in the coming time. Welcome again for the gate to the universe, the knowledge, the universe. And thank you. Go to the next.
Hello, this is Marie, and I'm the Universal Council member for the Norwegian language. And I will read this statement. We work on living consciously in the two dimensions of the soul. Because that's where we're going, to have this dual life with the one dimension of physicality and one dimension of the energy / plasma / soul. And we are working on it. And we try to be conscious about it 24/7. So we hope you will join us in that. Thank you.
We are present.
So now is the soul communication. Since several months, the Universal Council comes together. As you all know, 9 o'clock, we connect through the soul. And with this soul communication, we would like to have the next step of our minutes of silence. So I would like to ask you to find a comfortable position. And this is to relax the physicality so that we can focus on the soul part. I would like to ask you, find a chair or a sofa, or you can also lay on a bed in that way that you're really relaxed. With that, we breathe through our nose, slowly in and out. This is to support our soul on the shortest way and to spend the energy that is needed at the moment.
With this, we expand our soul far beyond the boundaries of Earth. We connect to all the knowledge seekers, to the soul of the Universal Council, through all the souls of the Universal Council members, but also to the systems, equal if they are in Linz or somewhere else positioned on this planet. These systems have a soul, and by us expanding, elevating, we can connect to them. We do it through the Dome of Peace. We also connect through this way to the universal family that is waiting for us. By that, we do it in silence. Now we slowly come back. I would like to thank all the souls participating in this way to find the path to peace. I want to thank all those who helped supporting with the systems that make it much more easier for us to open up and to find this connection. You may ask, what is the purpose? What do we do? It is the sharing of the unconditional love. And with it, we can support humanity on the way to peace. Thank you all.
Thank you, Jaco. So we can go to the next slide. Yes. So here is Marie again, and I was thinking what I should do today and what to share. And since on Saturday, I was in a beautiful meeting with the Plasma Connection together with Claudia. And it was a teaching on soul, ethos, and the universe. And I held an introduction about the peace treaty, but I will not bring it up here today. But if it's interesting, I can do it another time, because there is a lot of beautiful things that Mr. Keshe has said about the peace treaty. Okay. Can you hear me still? Because I got a phone call here.
Yes, yes, we hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, thank you. So, this program was on. It's on YouTube. So I will try to share the link in the chat later after this reading. And the first question, and the questions are from the audience of this program and the knowledge seekers all around the world. And the answers is made by many Universal Council members. So the first question is, for the Creator, would the human being be the greatest of the divine creations on planet Earth? And the first answer is, oops. How could this be possible if all souls are equal? And another answer, we are all the children of the Creator, and He loves all His children the same. And the next answer, for the Creator, all the souls are equal and the same. And another answer, for the Creator, all the creation is created in His image, in the beauty and totality. The word divine has been manipulated by mankind from eons as the only superior, supreme above all beings, and all the creation is created for its use. Anyhow, as thought in all religious practices and books, and the divine business is going on, and mostly every household in India is in severe addiction. There is no such thing as greatest in the universal unified fields. And there is another answer. Every being in existence has a soul, and the Creator have said, I have made man in the image and likeness, in my image and likeness. For this reason, all beings are equal, and we are part of the Creator. And then second question, could you explain in more detail what ethos means and how I can identify if I'm acting according to it in my daily actions? And the first answer here, ethos is the guidelines given to us to get our soul of physicality in balance with our soul of the man. Our guidelines for a correct life is given to us through the 24 commandments, through the ethos of Mitra, which is think good, speak good, and do good, and the ethos of the Keshe Foundation, which is we are here to serve, not to be served. You can identify your correctness according to the ethos by feeling your emotions. Your emotions are created in the interaction between your soul of physicality and your soul of the man. If your soul of physicality acts against the will of your soul of the man, your emotions will be low. Your life will be hard and struggleful until you have learned the lesson and corrected your ways. If your soul of physicality acts according to the will of your soul and is in balance with your soul of the man, your emotions will be high. Your life will be joyful and peaceful. And the next answer, you have to live life in the ethos of beauty and totality of the creation created by the Creator. Kindness cannot be identified if it's acted only to get identification. We also know how ethos is defined in this manifestation, depending on the conditions, and said by many, in the ethos there should be division of nationality, societies and races and so on. This is God's made form. We do what God says. So my dear, ethos are so many. In the universal unified fields, the ethos is, it is unconditional love always, forever, as we are here to serve, not to be served. And there is another answer. In your daily actions, you have to do your best, and in any small or big choices, you have to be good, act good, and think good. Ethos are the three together. And there is another answer. The ethos is the ethics. The ethos of the universe is think, talk, and do good. When we recognize ourselves as equal, it is the best starting point for this. To watch in every action through the we beyond the I. Do not judge the other. Every action has an impact on everyone else because they are connected by the same energy. And we have another answer. If you understand that it starts with thinking good, and by that you speak good, and the result is what you do good. Don't doubt, just do it. Start to live the way of the soul. Be happy that you found the key to the right way. The ethos opens up our abilities to do the next steps, be it to transmute, to travel, and finally be with our universal family again. So now we are on the question number 3. I would like to know a little more about the peace treaty. Why should I sign it? And the first answer, the peace treaty, it is when you are committing your soul to peace and you put in writing and sign. All people before becoming knowledge seekers should sign the peace treaty. And there is another answer. Why not? The only reason not to sign it is to continue the wrong way humanity is walking for thousands of years. Do you really want to stay blocked from the rest, not to travel, and to continue the struggles of health and so on? Sign it with a pen or sign it with your soul. Start the process of change inside of you now. Don't wait. And we have another answer. The peace treaty is a contract between yourself and your soul of the man, a confirmation from your physicality to your soul of the man to act correctly in a peaceful manner. The peace treaty is not the physical signing of the paper. It is emotionally accepting to be peaceful. And sometimes when we lose our ways, we remember we signed the peace treaty. And that's how we get corrected. The soul will enforce you to become peaceful within. And we have another answer. The peace treaty is the trust of your soul of the man with soul of physicality, and the signature is from within you to give services to all souls in existence and in physicality. The peace treaty can be signed by a pen of your choice. If you want to use any of the technologies of Keshe Foundation, or you want to be a student, you first have to sign the peace treaty. And you commit yourself to be peaceful and to follow the ethos of the Keshe Foundation. You are not here for yourself. You are here to serve the others. That is the ethos of Keshe Foundation. And we have another answer. The peace treaty, physically speaking, is a physical commitment which is asked of the leader of some community to receive the knowledge of the Creator and creation as an exchange for peace. It is a commitment that everyone must make with their own soul, recognizing its existence and the need to be elevated. And then we are on the fourth question. Why does the Keshe Foundation ally itself with governments that appear to be tyrannical and dictatorial towards their people? And the first answer, the Keshe Foundation is working on the level of the soul, which is a much higher force than any world leader can do in physicality. So the change will come one way or the other. But since humanity has to be united as one soul and to be peaceful to be part of the universal community, the best solution is to go through the governments. The hardest job for Keshe Foundation is not to benefit its nation, but to make them accept that they have to share it with all nations and their citizens. There will be no more wars because the peace treaty is signed, and the benefit of the technology and the knowledge will move humanity into the new era of space travel. This knowledge and technology will benefit every soul and make every one of us independent of governments and leaders. We will all have all our needs covered by our newly discovered leader within the soul of the man. And we have another answer. because we elect our governments. They represent us, the people. We need to make sure that the governments follow the people and not the people follow the governments. And we have another answer. Keshe Foundation is serving equally all souls in existence. These leaders are our creation. We always vote and dance in their melodrama for them to remain what they are, and this is the difficulty because of us. Keshe Foundation or Keshe Foundation is trying to resolve this, is trying to resolve in the love of humanity. And we have another answer. The Keshe Foundation does not have a role of a court, of a judge. It is the responsibility of knowledge seekers to be leaders for their community and to respect the decisions of the people with respect for their leaders, and to get them to recognize the importance of the science of the Creator, the science of plasma in achieving a life in peace and fulfillment for each community or in the present and future, thus fulfilling the commitment of each ruler with his nation. And then we are on the last answer. Are you sure? Do you believe only the Western news agencies? Be careful. The roots of achieving an equal society is very close to the foundation. We see our Western patterns as the only ones, and they are not. What is to come goes far beyond our separated nations' thinking. Think on soul level, get the chance to go one step further towards equality. If we need a government who can provide, for example, satellites, so it may be, as long as it serves peace for totality, it's okay. Don't underestimate Mr. Keshe's horizon. We love you, dear souls. Thank you.
Thank you, Marie. Vision. After the last teaching, I let it go through my thoughts, and I was thinking how beautiful the teaching is, what is Mr. Keshe explaining to us. He did it before. Some things are repeated. We find them in the other teachings who were there before. But more and more, Mr. Keshe goes deeper. So I made my thoughts about this vision. We can have a day vision, a night vision, or like on the picture, somewhere in between. This was my last evening in France when I was on a holiday. And the situation there was very, very nice. So I'd like to expand on that. How important it is to have a clear view in life. That should be clear to all of us. And what happens if we lose our view is a hard thing. That's out of doubt. People who lost their view use to sharpen their other senses, like the ears and the hands, or their smell. And those of you who've been involved in firefighters' work, probably they had the chance to use a thermovision camera. Next slide, please. The camera shows our view, but from a very different perspective. We see the contours of objects and persons. It is showed by the difference of the temperature, but you don't see the details. If it's dark or smoke filled up the room, these thermovision cameras make it possible to recognize where to walk through. And in such a room, a well-trained firefighter recognizes a person laying on the floor even at a long distance. But if you stand in front of a glass door or a big window, you can't see through it because the camera images, mirrors your own image in the glass. When Mr. Keshe explained that we have two sides to work with, this thermovision came to my mind. We see the same, but in a different condition. And with this camera, we have info like, for example, temperature, and sometimes also distance measurement. And these info are very important to know that a firefighter doesn't go further than he can handle before it becomes too hot. For example, my warmest experience was in a container where the ceiling had a temperature of 450 degrees Celsius. And that's really hot. Now transferring to our physical and soul vision. The physical vision we are used to. We can interpret and respond quite well. The soul vision will bring us not only the different kind of perspective, it also will bring us more detail, information like knowing if the truth is spoken. Now just imagine what change this will bring to humanity. The soul helps us to understand the world of plasma. And I'm so happy that this is a feature that's built in for all of us. Now try to connect, to train, to exchange, and to find a way to allow your soul to communicate with others. Ask questions on a soul level and see the results that come back. As soon if there is a response, you know that the message arrived. The goal is to become ready to do the same with our universal family. We learn what light, what form, what intensity, and what emotions on soul level field strength mean to us. And step by step, we return to the heartbeat of our universal community. Connection makes you wise. Wisdom leads you to the creation and the creator. Now do this training every time you think of it, maybe at work or while shopping or when you rest after a hard day of work. In time, you'll get used to process both views, to get a whole new kind of view. We trust our feelings Because now we have the confirmation by the soul that it is right what we see and hear. Our acting will be different because our soul shows us to follow the right path. See forward to the times to come, dear souls. Feel the happiness that comes after these balancing times that are ahead. Thank we as one to participate and to share our unconditional love on the way to peace. Thank we. Next slide, please.
Hello again. This part is part of the latest 5 minutes from the latest Knowledge Seekers workshop, where he talks a little bit about the same as Jacko was talking about. It's like an exercise. If I found the right part of the teaching, I'm not sure about that, but I hope I did. Are you ready for that, Rick?
Yes, just 1 second here. Should be able to get that set up. So at about 1:13, I think it was, 1 hour, 13 minutes. Okay, this is an excerpt from the 488th Knowledge Seekers workshop from about 1 hour and 13 minutes.
No kings, as every king is the king of the soul of the man. I will try to understand and try to practice, because it's not us anymore. It's you and us as you and your own soul and the soul of physicality and dimension of physicality of you. As we are no prophets, we are just teachers. We teach you the way. It's for you to bring the prophet to the existence of your soul and his expansion and his elevation. How you will achieve this is something for you. How you will extend to understand this is again in dimension of the life of you and not us. We just show the path. It's for you to find the way to stay on the path, the correct way. There are no punishment, there are no heavens, and there are no hell. It's just how closer with your actions you get to be closer to the soul of the Creator. Then try, close your physical eye. And then try to bring the emotion within you that interacts with your spirit, or what you call the soul of physicality. That through you see the light of the soul. Then you will see darkness, because you have to go through the passage of the extension of the soul of yourself. That's normal. If you stay on course, you will see the first lights, the first shining souls. And then you open up to a new dimension. And then you hear every knowledge in the universe and every voice in the universe. And then As you connect in the dimension of the fields of the universe, you can choose the mother, the friend, the lover, or whatever. Even the soul of the person in front of you lying to you. The process is very easy. Man has the tool to allow the opening of the certain curtain. You call it a heartbeat. You call it the clarity of the feeling and emotion. And it comes at the point of servitude. I open my soul to give, to bring. I don't open my soul to take and to steal. And it's very much like you see if the light is white coming to you, or you see the light.
I wonder if we reached that point, Rick. Did we?
There is a silent spot there, but it hasn't gone up. It's another minute or so to go to 1:18:23.
Yeah.
You want me to play that then?
No, I don't think so. It's not necessary. But
Okay.
I recommend for everyone to study this very beautiful class by Mr. Keshe, where he gives us many tips how to open this second curtain to the soul of the man, or the vision of the soul of the man, the eye of the soul of the man. Okay, I think I say thank you.
I don't see Stefania. So we go to the next slide, please. Hello, Shweta, are you there?
Yes, yes, of course. Thank you, my dear Jacob. Thank you, Mary. Very beautiful. Thank you, Jacob. And thank you, Lizzie, my dear. Very beautifully you said. So much beauty. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, my dear beautiful souls. Assalamu alaikum. Sashwat pranam. Namaskar, namaste, salute to every beautiful souls in existence. And I am Shweta Anwar, Universal Council Hindi language. And I want to share something about the Indian community. The Indian community, not the Hindustani community, but in the name of culture. And of course, as a woman, as a girl child, I was growing up. I always felt this discrimination, and there is pain about it. That as a woman, as a girl child, as a girl who growing up, and I wanted to feel the joy, in the celebrations, in and all, in the families. But when when we got to feel the joy, we felt the joy, but we are restricted that this is the limit, that you shouldn't be jumping in front of like that, If I wanted to jump, I have to hide myself and then I have to jump. It was that tradition, because it became a tradition, and suppression of women, as it was not there when it was Hindustan or the part of the oneness. It became a tradition after the British came, and our people from our community, like Raja Ram Mohan Roy and all many other kind of people, has created this history out of out of this corrupt way of dealing with women, that the ability of equality, the ability of women equal to man. And then it started the discrimination that we have to be after, when the man says after you say, like that. And still it is going on, very, very rudely sometimes. And if a woman is educated, then she has to do a triple PhD. Then the society will recognize her. Oh, she has done 3 PhDs. She is a doctor, but she's maybe not able to be a surgeon. Kind of that. A man surgeon is good. Like that. A man worshipping the deity, the goddess, is good. But women cannot enter the area, the premises. Like that. The restriction, because the women has this menstrual cycle. She's not allowed to come to the inside the temple sometimes, in the inner realm of the temple, because she has this cycle. She has this tendency. They see the woman as a dirty. These are dirty things the women bear. But when she bears a son, they will take that son away and love him like everything. The son is the important as a male, but discriminate the woman. And also, if the woman doesn't bear a son, she was always hated. Oh, she's had not bear a son. This is what she's like a desert. She always bear a girl child. And in our country, many areas have this killing of the newborn girl child. There's a way they put this newborn in the well, in the dark well, we say, the well. Many have done this. There are women doing this. So here we have this discrimination in the name of tradition and culture. This is a culture, and we false witness that, like an addiction. Or this as a widow, like a widow, if she become a widow, then she is not eligible for doing to go any marriage house. Or if now they go, because the male are not restricting them, like they say, okay, it's all right, we became modern and she's allowed, but with not a dazzling sari she can go, with jewelry, with jewelry she can't go. She have to be very simple, with the pale colors, and she can stand like that, and she has to be representing a widow, like that. So I have seen this always seeing this in our culture, in tradition, in household, daily household. So, and women supports that. They think if they support this discrimination, men will be very, 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 very kind to them. So that is the way they do. They serve the man like that. And the women say, and the women are also indulged in them. Here in India, there is so much discrimination that in the name of man, I say that we are all equal. A man, a woman, a child. We are all souls. We are all equal. But here, as the leaders are going around the world saying Namo Namaste and very peaceful, they have to solve this problem from inside the community. Otherwise, how can they go outside? How can they manifest? This is so weird that we are still tortured by these type of levels. They say curse or whatever you can say. What about the blessings of the mother? They what they do is, I have suffered because as a woman, I never joyed to being a woman. I have always restricted from all the men. Even sometimes my father was a very diverse kind of mentality man, but still because of the society he was suppressed, kind of that no, you shouldn't do that, girls don't do that in our society. So here what they do is, women even fast for the longevity, for the long life of, there is a long life of the man, of his husband, of the santan, means the children, but there is no such festival or day for a man to fast for a woman, or a children to fast for the mother. But the mother has to fast always for the, and after seeing the face of the husband, she can eat something. Not, she cannot eat in this fasting a drop of water. So this is how the height of discrimination is in India. And the media, even the leaders, all the leaders, they encourage, they are seeing with their wife doing this karwa chauth, after the whole day of the fast, the woman opens the fast after seeing the face of the husband. The leaders do that, and all over the media it is in a propaganda type, So here I will say that it is lots of suffering always, because there is no respect, and without respect, how can a life survive? Need of respect, inequality is very much necessary. So I will say, even women are casted, are used as rudalis. Rudalis means a woman who sell her tears for crying in funerals. It is, I will read the page, because these words are so beautifully arranged for them, that this is a tradition in India, even the women had to cry. The women had to cry always. If she doesn't cry, or maybe I was, when my father died, I never cried, and now also I didn't cry, and that was a big issue for many people, that why she's not crying. This is not good. She must cry. Otherwise, how could we, how people will see you? They said to my mother, she is not crying. So this is the way the women of the house should cry. A girl child, a girl, a woman, or whatever designation she has in the society. So here I will say the Rudalis, about the Rudalis of India, and they, here are some, I will say, meet the Rudalis of India, and the Rudalis, the weeping women of Rajasthan. Rajasthan is a region in India where mostly covered with desert, and if somebody know about the Jaipur, Jaisalmer, Udaipur, many have tourist. They're a big tourist spot, so they will know. These women, the women who sell their tears for a living. As the news of the death traveled through the village, everyone gathered in the courtyard of the Haveli. Haveli is like a palace, kind of a rich man's home. The women of the house were still inside due to traditional norms, because the women are not allowed to see, even a father died, or this was a tradition, and made history by many of our leaders. And what I can say, sorry, yes, the men, traditional norms, the men of the village gathered to recount the good deeds of the Thakur. Thakur means the man who died, a village chief or a rich man, they call them Thakur. And then there were women dressed in black. They wailed, beating their chest and the ground in front of them. Their thick tears stained their cheeks, but they didn't bother wiping them. Everyone looked on as they grieved and mourned the death. It wasn't the first time they are mourning a death. It was not going to be the last. These women are known as Rudalis, or the professional mourners. Yes, they make a living out of mourning. There's no man for mourning, but these Rudalis, the women, are there for mourning. They wear black, only black, the favorite color of Yama. Yama is the deity of death, Yamaraj, the god of death. They come from a lower caste. See, they have said that they come from a lower caste. There's the caste system so rude, and the society doesn't allow them to have a family. For if a grieving mourner finds happiness, who will cry at the funerals? So much suffering for them. It may seem like a bizarre profession to us, but in the hinterlands of Rajasthan, the tradition needs them. You see, the upper caste women are not allowed to display their emotions in front of others. They are usually kept behind veils and inside havelis, the palaces, inside the palaces, or the rich man's home. An upper caste man speaking to Nidhi Dugar Kundelia for her book, The Lost Generation, said, "Someone has to cry when the members of our royal family die, right? Women's brains are hardwired to feel loss and grief. They have a weak heart. We don't allow the women in our families to make a sight of themselves outside our homes. High caste women do not cry in front of commoners, even if their husbands die. They need to preserve their dignity. These low caste women, or you can say Rudalis, do the job of them. The whole village feels the loss. She represents their sadness." Rudali, as a profession, sees the issues of gender, caste, class, and economic stature intertwined. The abject poverty induced by the gender and caste they are born into forces Rudalis to render personal emotion as saleable commodities that can be bought by the upper caste men. Their tears become something that a rich man can put a price on, and when someone dies, they breathe a sigh of relief. These women are given a low position in society, which also makes them vulnerable to exploitation. Many of them give birth to illegitimate children of the same upper caste men that keep them on the margins of the society. If they give birth to a girl child, she is immediately put to rest because of the stigma that comes along with bearing a female. A famous Rudali saying goes, "Pando bhalo na kosko, beti bhali nai." Favored nor is the birth of a single daughter. Walking on the foot even for a mile is not favored, nor in the birth of a single daughter. Even the sons born to Rudalis don't carry the name of the father, that everyone can identify them as illegitimate children. Rudalis are pushed to the very margins of society, and yet they pray to God, Bheruji, who is himself said to be a lusty bachelor, who loved seducing young girls, especially from lower caste, for a deity like that, a lusty bachelor. A caste for these upper caste men to live long lives, not the women. Even for the task at hand of crying for the death of someone they don't know personally, Rudalis don't receive a lot in payment. Till about 30 years ago, they would charge 5 to 6 rupees, maybe a cent, you can say in America, for wailing and rolling on the ground and wailing, beating one's breast and accompanying the corpse to the cremation ground. They are also given rice and old clothes, used clothes. The food they get is raw onion and leftover rotis, I mean bread, leftover. They continue their act for 12 days at least. You see the longer and more theatrical the mourning period, the higher it speaks of the family's economical status. To keep up the performance, the Rudalis often think about their own painful lives to induce crying. More often than not, it doesn't work. But for a profession where crying is central to the job description, Rudalis have devised their own methods. Some use saliva, while some use a certain plant that makes the eyes watery. There is also a coal-like substance that is said to be cause burning sensation and thus bring out tears. These tears are your livelihood. Just as you cut wheat and plow land, you will be able to shed these tears, they say. However, with the world view changing, people now prefer quieter funerals. But this is the way the traditional rudalis are still going on, and only time will tell how many takers of these tears they will find. And this is the way in India, in the name of tradition and culture. And it has become history also because of this, because of the behavior of these leaders. And even they have, they have created this, that if the man dies, they have to die with the husband. Here's the tradition that if a girl is married to a Brahmin, if the Brahmin is even dying, going to the funeral home, the girl who is about 10 years old is married to the Brahmin, and she will be burnt with the Brahmin who is near death and already dead, like that. This system is Sati Pratha, and this has been created by our miserable leaders, or at that time, with support to the Romans, and then it goes on, and the opposing them are the same leaders. This is confirming that this was a pratha, this was a custom that was going on, and when that was Hindustan, this was the Sanatan Dharma, that Hindu Dharma, and thus created the form of Hinduism, which never existed before. So this is the way I was born. I was born when a dark skin colored girl was discriminated because she is not white, like Gora. She's not a little white, and the father and mother has to give lot more dowry because somebody agreed to marry her despite she's dark. And the fair girl, she hasn't to pay anything more, but still the dowry is the utmost important thing, and because of the dowry, they kill the woman with fire. Even newly wed brides are killed by the in-laws. And I have this event in a neighbor, a girl she was a little dark skinned. She was an engineer in Bharat where my father was working. But still, she was not enough for them. They fired her, they burned her, and she was in the emergency because of the dowry system. And she was because the man has to marry again. They have taken the dowry, taken all the money from the girl of woman. Her name was Savitri Didi. We called her Savitri Didi, and she died after 1 month, suffering severe pain. And this is all over India, the death of dowries. And a dark-skinned woman is not appreciated at all in our society. Forget about the racism in the world. Here, if they say racism, it is here, And they have this cream also launched always, the fair and lovely. If you are fair, you will get a better husband. So here I will say, yes, my dear Hassan, as you said that tears of love are beautiful. I have been drowned in tears of feeling the love of Mr. Keshe and his knowledge of the universe and creation. I have never cried in such a way during my whole life. It happened to me 4 times, and it was so uplifting, soul lifting. Wish everyone feel this deep feeling of unconditional love brought and taught to us in such a beautiful way. Love you all. Oh, Hassan, love you too, my dear. So beautiful. Yes, the tears of love is a kind of, sometimes we all do that, and sometimes we need to do that. But here are the tears of painful, painful way to treat women. So I will say here there is the largest festival is the festival of the deity Mitra, the Durga, the Shakti, the ability of a woman. But this is the way they kill the woman, every street and every corner. So I was sad about it always. Because I was growing up in this environment. It was sometimes, hiding myself, hiding always. Oh, this is the emotion the woman shouldn't allow, like that. Then I know. Then after studying, after getting knowledge, I know how they were created. This is not the oneness. This has separated all of us, a male from the female also. And this shouldn't be good. This shouldn't be like that. We should be together always. There should be no fasting for a man or for a woman. So I will say that this is what I wanted to say, that there's joy, there's celebration, everything. But how could I say that? If I say, yes, I'm in peace process, I'm doing the peace, and I am doing this communication, but I have to bring up all this, I have to bring up all this to understand the truth more in the core, so that I can deplete it from, as we are communicating with all souls. I communicate with them that these things should be fault witnessing again, or there should be no addiction like that. It should be vanished, eliminated from our society, so that everyone can flourish and understand their ability, own ability, a woman or a man. A man shouldn't suppress the man's ability, not in suppressing the woman, the man's ability in loving unconditionally. As a woman do also, always. As a woman, I have been through this society, through this hardcore, hardcore discrimination. Even the books, all the books are written like that. A woman suffering, and the woman is okay, I'll come with you because I was wrong. And it was very painful that women supported this, discriminated the widow, killed the women, and all. So even in the when the child, newborn girl child was born and thrown into the well, that was a woman. How can be cruel? How can they be cruel? And they want to seek the attention of a man. What the man says? No, this is not the condition we should be in. We should be in love, in peace, and in abundance, and so on. When a girl gets married, when I was married, I was thinking to create this family, create the family with my husband, and there were so much dreams about it, so much. I thought maybe this time I will open up to create the new, to love them all, but I failed again because there was so discrimination. I failed again. I was hiding again within me. But well, what I can say, thank you. Thank you to my Mother Mehran Tavakoli, the whole Keshe Foundation team of love, I will say. We are able to understand and recognize in clarity the books, the people. Even now, I wish the leaders should resolve from within the society, the problems. They saying Vande Mataram, salute to the mother, doesn't complete anything. It doesn't make you international. Say the truth. Resolve from inside. The caste system, the religious system, the system to discriminate women. This is the way, then you can salute the mother from within your heart and soul. Salute the mother. So we are all equal. So here, I just wanted to say that, because without saying that, I cannot say that there is joy. I'm feeling the joy now as I'm telling you. I'm sharing this with all souls. And in communication, we all know we are enhancing, elevating all souls. So this is not about the female, feminine. No, this is about a being trying to be equal, trying to get some respect, from all over. So this is the way I wanted to say about the Rudalis, the weeping women, tears for sale, my dear. And yes, as Hassan said, there are tears of love too. Of course. Thank you. Thank you. But maybe in this communication, in the coming times, I will say, oh, I am in great joy. So the deity, the goddess is so much respected, all of it. So thank you. Thank you for listening. So I will again say, from Hindustan, salam, namaste, salute, beautiful souls, always, all the love, always. Thank you so much. Yes, here, welcome my beautiful souls. Here, we bring the needs and wishes from your community to the Universal Council as one planet, one nation, one race for justice and world peace. So I welcome you, dear beautiful souls. You have any all those presentation, in any part you want to say anything, share anything of beauty, you can please share. You are most welcome. Even there is a wish, there is a love to share. Share, my dear, please do. If yeah, and there's a Mark said yes, Mark. We elevate the souls of the abused and the abusers. Join us on June 30th. Thank you, Shiv. Oh, my dear. Thank you so much. Thank you, my dear. Stefania says, in the river, lake and water, in the air and in the ground. We also start some workshop to teach to beginner to do Gans of Cup 1 and 2. As soon I have the dates, I will share in the Telegram. We also meeting weekly at the soul level to elevate the abused children and the abusers. Plus, we elevate the world leaders too. Beautiful, Stefania. Thank you. We are all present always. So, welcome, my dear beautiful souls. Anything you want to say, anything. What your heart and soul says. Welcome, welcome.
Hi, Sweater, it's Dean here. May I say a few words?
Oh, yes, of course.
Thank you.
Oh.
So I'd just like to speak regarding bring the needs and wishes from your community to the Universal Council. And we've heard some very beautiful testimonials, some life experiences. The teachings of Mr. Keshe through the Universal Council, the beauty of this ethos and knowledge that is put forward to all of you. Each and every one of us is responsible for our own thoughts, words and actions. And they have a very big impact on everything in our daily lives. And we can be present in this moment. And in this precise moment, everything is still. There's a space gap. There's a position of all the things that we speak about have gone, and all the things before us we're not aware of yet. But in this precise moment, everything is precisely still. So when you reach that position inside yourself, you can create a plasmatic condition that touches not only your soul, the soul of physicality to the soul of man, but also then connects with all the souls that are present across your community, across the planet, and ultimately across the unicosm. And it's your choice, it's your viewpoint, it's your own limitations set by yourself. There is no limitation of the soul. The soul is present in each and every position that it wishes to be. In fact, it doesn't need to be a wish, it can be just present in the moment. So an experience I had recently was over the weekend. I went to a position where I went up a mountain, and there was supposed to have been, or there was, Mr. Keshe was given us a position where we could all join him and join all the communities, all the languages, all the souls together to bring about an elevation of the abused and the abusers of children. And there's many ways to abuse children, as we know. And when we think about this, when we come to this conclusion, what you know, this attribute of being present with that thought, it brings up many emotions within us, because I think all of us, it takes us immediately back to a past thought, a past position, time, place, and position, a memory of a position. And for each and every one of us, there may be a particular moment that resonates with you as soon as I speak these words about the abused and the abusers. And for each and every one of us, that can be a very personal thing that's happened. And for some, it can be something that is very, very traumatic. And for others, it can be something that would be quite small, but very significant. And the emotion set has then triggered a response within the environment of yourself that then you use, and that energy is dispersed amongst all the other souls in the environment. It affects everybody. So I went up this mountain, and we were having this discussion, this elevation of the souls. We were connected to the units in Linz, and we were connected on a soul level with all the souls present. And in that particular moment, when it started, I was actually in transit and moving along a motorway. And I had headphones on, and I was taking a position. And I went through a position where I totally became unaware of the environment of the traveling condition. And I went into, for many ways, you could describe it in many ways, but a soul condition where you enhance and bring out the soul around the physicality. I was unaware of my physical body and the presence of being inside this vehicle. It didn't exist. It just sort of melted away, and I became very present in the moment with these thoughts and intentions towards the abuse of children, and for themselves and for the abusers, for the elevation of their souls. So we're touching a plasmatic condition where we're not going to the physicality, we're going to the soul of man. The soul of man, unlimited. And in that particular moment, when we connect and we elevate the souls, then we can bring about a condition where once the soul is elevated, you will find, as Mr. Keshe was saying many times, that then the physical body has to move, has to take another position because of the elevation of the soul. And I remember looking out after this particular moment. I'd gone through this sort of transmutation, this process, this giving from my soul to the soul of the abused children. And I didn't target one particular aspect of one child or even one nation. I just gave to the children of humanity. All of us, because we're all children of humanity. And so my thoughts and my intentions towards the elevation of the children of humanity. And I experienced in that moment, as I said, my soul took the position. I was unaware of my physicality. Once I'd opened myself back up, or I come back into my thoughts and intentions, back into the reality of the physical body, then I was present up this mountain, as I said. And it's funny how the soul positions you in certain moments. There was a second point later on in this meeting, in this elevation of the souls, where I would have liked to have spoken and said some things within the meeting. But for whatever reason, it obviously wasn't the correct moment, because every time I went to say something, my battery on my phone either went very flat, or I was in a particular position that in one moment where I was having I think it was a cup of coffee, and then somebody came to me and spoke to me, so I couldn't speak, and then I went again around so that I had more privacy, and then the conversation within the meeting had moved on. So the soul aspect of it wasn't quite right, so that's why I'm speaking about it now. And for me, it was a very poignant moment. Being a British citizen, and we know, Sweater's just spoke very diligently and beautifully about the Indian position and all the experiences he's had. And we all know that the British have had a very big influence around this planet. And so as a soul, as a British person, I've taken a position where on a soul level, I have to rebalance for many of the things. There's many, in all the nations around the world, all the peoples are extremely beautiful. And the British, the Austrians, the Germans, the Indians, Italians, French, every nation you can possibly think of, all the Europeans and South Americans, they're all beautiful people, many beautiful people. We have a position where we are guided or taken to other positions that have happened, that have abused the children through the essence of or the conditions of things like going to war. And that war can be on a national scale, or it can be on an individual scale, the war within us, the war within inside ourselves. And this all goes back to that emotion that is created from an abuse that happens as a child that we carry with us. And then that affects us our whole lives, or it can do. And then this influences all the other decisions and all the other interactions we have. So from the seed, and when the seed is set, takes a position, then if the seed is of the wrong origin, then everything from that seed tends to be, it goes off on a tilt that doesn't actually help yourself and others. It gives you an emotion that brings an imbalance and then leads to other energies present within our, within ourselves, first of all, and then within society. And then we take that forward. If a man that receives an elevation in physicality, on a national level, then becomes a leader. And then that leader then takes that situation that happened to him or her into a leadership role, and then brings that condition to the people, knowingly or unknowingly, however it affects. And so from micro to macro, we see how situations, small things, the abuse of the children is so important. And this mountain that I was up was overlooking in Salzburg. And this mountain was apparently where a certain gentleman in the First and Second World Wars had taken a residence. And there was a particular point on this mountain that it also has like a mystic about it. So there's other elements to it that apparently people have gone there and lost time, place and position, where all of a sudden they it's reported that some have experienced losing moments in time. They have gone through 1 or 2 months and then suddenly find themselves back, and they've lost 2 months of time. And this has happened quite a few times, and it's been reported. So that position sort of in the moment tied in with this particular journey I was on, which is both personal, being present in a certain location, and also on another scale that I have, I felt, I've always felt the situation with my nation, with the nations that have been present, with my relatives, with my nation, and everything that has always been in the background, to do with a situation where the children, through a war condition or through a lifetime of being in a position that is given, has brought about many, many problems across this planet. And then it gets distributed, and many people have to deal with this energy. So for me, it's a personal journey to go to a position and give freely and unconditionally from my soul, not only at the top of a mountain, but at the top of the soul level, or at the bottom of the soul level, or the middle, or from the core, however you'd like to view it. And try to balance in the moment, give from the soul to bring balance and peace within myself, that then spreads that unlimited soul aspect out to all the people of the lands everywhere. And I must say, whenever I go to these lands, all these things that are spoken about and we see in the news and the media all the time, when I actually see the people, the real people that are present, in most instances, they are extremely beautiful, very courteous, very, very friendly, and always want to be in a position to help each other, to give to each other. And so when we have this emotion or an emotion of abuse within us, we can still hide it, put it back into a little pocket in our, somewhere in our life, and it can be present there, but then it grows significantly and can affect us. So the abuse of the children is something that I feel that we need to address, and we have addressed through the foundation, and we've given from our souls and brought balance. And we contacted, and we're part of the universal community that's here to bring balance and beauty to humanity. And remember, each and every single one of us is part of this community. It's up to you whether you accept or what you accept. That's entirely your choice. However, when we are present with ourselves in the true knowing, the essence of what we really are, we know we are all connected, and we all have a direct influence on each other. So when we have our thoughts and intentions that match to give to one another and to bring peace, then we have this peace across the planet, because we are the creation of it. It's us. We're responsible for everything we see and touch and do in this moment. And when some people say, what can I do? And I always say to them, everything. You are everything. So when you think, speak, and act in the correct manner and take away the abuse from yourself, the child, then everything comes into balance in this moment. Thank you all for listening. Thank you, Sweta. Thank you, Rick.
My dear, thank you so much, my dear Jane, for sharing this view. You always do. Thank you. And any beautiful soul else want to have any comment or anything you want to say about yourself, your soul, like that? Welcome.
I'd like to read the chat that's put in by Hassan here. mentioned tears of love before. So here's what he says. Tears of love are beautiful. I have been drowned in tears of feeling the love of Mr. Keshe and his knowledge of the universe and creation. I have never cried in such a way during my whole life. It happened to me 4 times, and it was so uplifting and soul lifting. I wish everyone to feel this deep feeling of unconditional love brought and taught to us in such a beautiful way. Love you all. That's from Hassan. Thank you, Hassan.
Thank you, Hassan. Thank you so much. Yes, of course. Indeed. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. I will thank every time. Thank you. So any beautiful soul else want to have a say? Welcome.
Well, Hassan goes on to say in the chat that Senegal is going through a hardship. Almost 30 youngsters killed because of politics, and most of facilities are destroyed and burnt. So he says, I wish the situation go back to normal with no more killings and a peaceful transition for the whole of West African countries under French colonialization, experiencing hardship at the moment.
We are present, Hassan. We are present.
Yeah.
All. Thank you.
I am present.
Anybody else? Okay.
Hi, everybody. It's Dean again here. I'd just like to add to what was just spoken about there. So in Senegal, we see all the, as Rick's just spoken about, the hardship and through politics. And we know that politics hold such a large condition over ourselves. And we know that it takes a position that doesn't always quite match what is spoken. So this would be the ethos of the foundation. When we have politics, when we have the Universal Council, that and the ethos of the council that is put forward to humanity, and when this takes a position, then you will find that the 3 will match. You know, the spoken word, so the intention, the spoken word, and then the action will all match. And then we will have a completely different condition in this moment on this planet. And all the nations will be as one. You know, we say here, one planet, one nation, one race, for justice and world peace. And that starts with yourself, as I keep saying. It's this political position that we take one side or the other. We could say it's magnetical or gravitational, giving or taking. And which is it for you? If you become in service and you just give, and you give unconditionally as best you can, then you'll find that the opposition will have nothing to feed an energy from. So when you give to the politicians, when you give unconditionally, you give to the other side, then you find, as I've just spoken, the balance takes position. The action, the words, the thoughts, the actions, they all match. And then all sides find a position of tolerance and beauty. giving to each other, sharing, instead of grabbing and taking and receiving so much, and then for another to have a lot less, then this is a total imbalance. And there's always a condition where in the universal flow that it has to be readdressed, rebalanced. So when we as a nation, one nation, you know, humanity, planet Earth, when we start acting as one, because we are one species, one tiny species, and when we think that we act the way that we do through politics and through the ridiculous things that happen and go on, that we are all responsible for, because it's our thoughts that create this. And so when we start to not blame others all the time, not just put the balance outside and say it's this or that or this, let's just be very aware of our own thoughts, actions and deeds in this moment. Because everything is an interaction, everything is an energy transfer. So the moment you speak it, you're transferring it. And then when you think it, it's a field strength. And a thought from an atom to a universe is all the same. So that thought can travel across the whole planet and out across the unicos. And the universal family hear this constantly. You know, they know it before you think or say it. So you imagine when humanity come to a position of an understanding of the beauty of the soul, which is unconditional and pure essence of creation, pure energy, which is what you have inside you, and you're responsible for it. So when you come into balance, then the politics and everything else all across the nations will be in balance too. Be responsible for yourself. The energy you carry is unlimited, and you are the most beautiful shining star there's ever been. Always remember that. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. Yes, of course, when we signed the peace treaty with the pen, and when we sign it with our soul, the responsibility began to see clarity, to serve, always. Thank you, my dear dear. Thank you so much. Anyone else? My dear, any beautiful souls? Welcome.
Hi, sorry, it's Diane, board member. I just wanted to share with everyone from the 26th One Nation, One Planet, One Race. Jackie said at 1 minute and 27-minute mark, Mr. Keshe taught us to master our soul's colors, because our soul color is the universal communication of our intention and wish for whomever we meet. Like, at the end of it all, we just have to be. Okay, and then that'll show what our wish and our intention, like our soul. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
My dear Diane, thank you. Thank you so much. Beautiful.
You're welcome.
Diane, that was beautifully said. It's Dean here. So, Diane, how do you see the color of your soul? Do you have a color that you see yourself as?
Well, I don't know. I had a chakra picture taken. There was a lot of red, but I think it's multicolor and it's always changing depending on what you're feeling and thinking. So that's why your thoughts and feelings at the moment is important. Okay, that's I don't know my color. I think it's always changing.
But that's because you in your environment and the conditions around you and your thoughts and intentions are being radiated out and given to the whole of the unicos, you know, the whole of humanity. And so in your environment, with your thoughts and intentions, it's when you're at peace. Do you find that within your environment, the animals, your community, do you find that it resonates to your thoughts, your intentions? How does it work for you?
Well, I guess I live a very secluded life because of my chronic pain, but yeah, like the insects, I live in the country and I got a really good landlord, and I got a piece of property that has room, and I can go out and be around nature about insects, and like praying mantises I talk to, and I have no idea. I guess we just have to be really true to ourselves and know like who we are and what we're living for, what we're representing, and what we're wishing for. Better world. I don't know.
You're doing a wonderful job. And of course, because no one is higher and no one is lower, and we're all equal. And you're the most important person in the world. You need to know that, and everybody needs to know that of themselves. Your essence and your thoughts and intentions are as a magnetical gravitational field, go through the whole of it's unlimited. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop at the matter state. It keeps traveling on through. It's like the sun that radiates, out across the planet Earth. Neutrinos and everything else from the sun penetrate everything. And so, humanity always looks for the biggest. And with this technology and with what Mr. Keshe brings forward and the universal community, they look for the smallest. Because that's when you start to look into the smallest, you suddenly realize that there's very big space gaps. And that is where the energy is. And that energy is, the soul of man. And the soul is not just the soul of man, it's the soul of all created creatures. And so you spoke about the praying mantis. So that soul has an aspect to it that is equal to the soul of man. And so when you give from your soul to the soul of that creature, that created creature, then you can elevate and receive, an elevation back from all beings and all creatures. And for many, this will be difficult to understand or to want to understand. But this is the beauty of the knowledge, the universal flow, the ethos of the universal community, giving to every single soul in creation, from a grain of sand to a soul that takes physicality in a biological body. It's all the same. It's all souls. So always understand how beautiful you are, each and every one of you.
Yeah, and about like the abused and the abusers, I think we've all been abused, and we got to get rid of all the stupid stuff, bad stuff, and just take the good stuff, and carry on. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Good to hear from you.
Thank you, Dean. Yes, all the good stuff and all the colors, all faith, and all the love too. Then we can analyze with this unconditional love, of course. Yes, all the colors. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. If there's anybody else, I think you could probably go to the next slide now, Rick. I think we're done there.
Thank you, my dear Dean. And then we are all here to serve, not to be served. The universal constant. Thank you, my dear beautiful souls, for being present with the responsibility of peace with all souls that exist. And I will say again, welcome, 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 Suswagatam to the beautiful, beautiful energy, beauty and totality of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Join, jump in, leap in, follow, live in the foundation, in the knowledge universal. So, Assalamu alaikum, Sashwat Pranam, Namaste, Namaskar, Salute. I am Shwetanvar. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
Okay, thank you, Sweta, and thank you to all the members of the Universal Council for their presence here today and for the work they do in the background to for the benefit of all beings. Okay, that brings to a close our 277th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice here on Tuesday, June 6, 2023. Our next public teaching workshop will be on Monday, will be Wednesday, June 7th, and that will be the Keshe Plasma Reactor group. And I've been hosting that for quite a few years now, and people are welcome to join in, whether you're a newcomer or an old timer with the plasma technology. And that will start at the 7 a.m. Central European Time. Again, that's Wednesday, June 7th. And of course, we have the Knowledge Seekers Workshop coming up on Thursday, June 8th, and that will be at the 9 a.m. Central European Time. Okay, I apologize for no audio and live stream today. We hope to get that sorted out before the next workshops. Okay, well, it's time to go out with our music, Sweta.
With hang on, guys. Have some dance and balance. Always live in joy, my dear beautiful souls. Always. Thank you, my dear.
I should also mention before we go, we have the testimonials meeting coming up on Monday. That's June 12th. So if you have testimonials, that's a great time to say them to the world and show them. And that starts at 8 p.m. Central European Time. Again on Monday, June 12th. All right, now we'll enter into our
clap. This is a testimonial of love, unconditional love, of course. Thank you, dear.
Flight Enhancement Spaceship Unit music version. Okay, thanks everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.